Human Design Gate 2, the Gate of Receptivity, pure yin.
Soft life. It's like basically we go hard for the soft life. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. This one is really catapulting major change and redirection in our life. And redirection in the sense of reassessing maybe a direction we were taking, and for doing so for the greater good of ourselves, but also to be more of service to the world. So first off, I want to just tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Nicole. I'm a wellness entrepreneur and a digital creator. I have my website withlovecole.com, and I also am on all social platforms at withlovecole. I also run an apothecary, so I do a lot of things all related to motherhood, mindfulness, wellness, and human design and esoterics. So if you want to stay connected, you can check me out there. Also check out my sea moss. I make sea moss gel. Sea moss is a sea algae that has 92 of 102 minerals the body needs. It's anti-mucus, antiviral, and antibacterial, so just really great for the body and keeping homeostasis. And I also cover the human design gates for this season, so it's tons of information. I give you guys a wealth of information because, to be honest, I feel like life is so chaotic, and sometimes we genuinely just need guidance along the way. I became a YouTuber because I loved watching YouTubers and connecting with people across the world who wanted to get direct guidance, and also feel like it's guidance that came to them. I really love the fact that the algorithm does sense what I want to see and pick up, and I hope that if this video came across your page, it's because you are meant to know what's going on this season. That's the beauty of life, the reciprocity. But the reality is, it starts with us taking care of ourselves to even be givers, right? A huge reflection for this season I had was, am I speaking from my own voice, or am I speaking from a voice of others? Like, when you go on social media, it's natural to just pick up things online, like subconsciously, whether you see someone like a shoe and then all of a sudden you notice that, like, or post their new shoes, and all of a sudden you notice it becomes more apparent in your environment or your world. So then now all of a sudden you like something that you may not have liked before, and that mutation is normal. But then I think at some point you have to be like, if I am going to move from a position of leadership, am I going to be a channel, a voice, or am I going to be a voice that's actually the voices of other people's voices in one person? And we all are a bit of that, but at some point you do have to break away from what you're seeing and create something to really innovate it, right? And to do this, you need an end game, you need a direction, you need a focal point of where you want to go. You need to be able to envision and see that. So gate 2 is transiting later into next week, but it's actually transiting in the moon right now in Taurus. And we see that with gate 2 transiting Taurus, we are focusing on our emotional direction at this time of year. But again, next week we'll be going into gate 2 for the Taurus sun, and that is my gate. So of course it's my birthday season, May 6th. And as we go into that gate, we're going to start looking at our expression and how our expression is our soul's direction, like where our soul is going. For me, again, creating these YouTube videos and putting myself out here in this way, I am feeling the transits very deeply. Like, it is very much about taking a step back and focusing on my soul's direction of what I want to create and how intentional I want to be before doing so. Another message for the new moon in Aries: allow yourself to be and relax. Like, trust the process of life and know that you may not be able to get everything done, but you can try. But it's really about us coming into our soul's expression, what we are meant to do for the greater good of others. And in turn, this does turn into gains. It's still Taurus. Taurus is very much about the earthly plane and being taken care of here and now. You feel me? But at the same time, she understands that there's a mystical aspect of it. And that's kind of what I love about being a Taurus. I feel like we are very like feminine, but at the same time we know when to get up and go and move in a way that is a little more assertive to, you know, manifest our dreams for that soft life. It's like basically we go hard for the soft life. So now let's talk about Human Design Gate 2.3, which is the gate of unity. It is the gate of the driver. It's all about your soul's direction or your direction in life. And this literally is the second gate. It's a pure yin gate. So although I talk about Taurus energy as masculine and feminine, the balance of this gate is gate 1, the creative, the balance of this gate is gate 1, the creative, which is all yang energy. So April 21st, which was yesterday, I'll be posting this either on the 22nd or 23rd, the moon transited gate 2.3, which is about patience. It's about trial and error and being receptive to life. Are we allowing ourselves to be patient? Are we rushing things? Are we going with life's natural flow and cycles? That's what it's really questioning right now. Knowing we must hold to deep values, but also be open to truth that life must change. Like, that's the reality. So you do have to have a set of values that work for you, but you always have to be open to life if you want to be a part of the flow of life, because life, the reality is, and the truth, one truth of life is that life will change. Every single being has something to offer and creates a new direction for us, providing a symbiotic relationship and a single consciousness. Humanity carries beauty of polarity because without it there would be no sympathy, but rather a flat line. There would be no life if we didn't have like the highs and lows of life. Like similarly, if you were in a hospital, God forbid, and there was a decision to pull the plug, the line would go flat. That's what no life looks like. So the reality is life is full of these ups and downs, like the uncertainty with the assuredness, like one needed to bring on the other. And it's a reality of life. It's a harshness of life. It's also the truth that there will be good times and bad times, but how do we choose to move through them is really the receptivity aspect. At some point, you may have gone through many different understandings of like what life is or why are we here, but the reality is you're here. So then you have to decide, if I'm going to be here, what do I do to enjoy it, right? And you can decide to jump into a new creative passion. You can decide to just totally drop everything, let go of all attachments and desires, and choose to like become a monk. It's your choice, but I hope that you choose the thing. Me dropping my book. It's your choice, but I hope that you choose the thing that makes you happy. And that's what I feel like Taurus season is all about, the pleasantness of life, like doing what makes you happy and understanding life does have this other side of karma. So yes, doing what makes you happy, but also knowing that you do want to see the betterment of others because it's all a reflection of you and your world, etc. Know that there is a great ordering to the universe, and at some point we do have to find a system, an understanding of something to help us stay in flow. And for me, that has been human design, and then balancing that with just nutrition and well-being and a holistic lifestyle. I hope that this message resonates, and if you learned something or got inspired by something, you comment below. You also can comment a little spiral. I would love to see you guys show up and just like recognize life cycles, life changes, and that life is worth living as hard as it is. Like, I went through a tough year. I know that I wasn't the only one though, and that is the beauty of life. We aren't going through this alone, so we have each other. And if you really love this video and want to see other videos like this, I highly recommend checking out my other videos on YouTube, but also following me on all social platforms, and also checking out my Patreon. I have exclusive content on Patreon. I do a lot of like introspective writing and creative writing on Patreon that is also intuitive message based. So if you really like things like that, recipes for motherhood, mindfulness, and human design, because I have different tiers on Patreon for the different topics I talk about, then I highly recommend you check out my Patreon and become a patron. So I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
And if you made it to the end of this video, you're a real one, so let's stay in touch.